Hello, Viking sports followers. So we're again back with another interview today. We're going to be interviewing snooker player, former Northern Ireland Open snooker winner, Mark the K-Dog King. So we're going to get him in shortly, and we'll ask him some questions about how he got into snooker, his current tournaments that he's been in, and what he's aiming to do before retirement. So we'll get him in. And we'll get started. Okay, so we just sent over the invite, so we should have him in very shortly. And then, we'll get any questions answered. And we'll go from there.
Can you see me?
I can't, no.
No, not it. Why can't you see me?
It says it's connecting. Do you want me to try it again?
Not it. Let me just.
Yeah, let me. What I'll do is I'll cancel it and then I'll add you back in. Is that all right? Yeah. Cool. Okay, so just a couple of technical issues, but hopefully we'll be on. Here he is. There we go.
How you doing?
Mark? Yeah, not too bad. You all right?
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, good. How's everything been?
Pretty shit, to be honest with you.
Yeah. We won't discuss yesterday.
No, I'm not talking about yesterday. Yesterday was just like bad day at the office.
Yeah.
But just in general, just the whole lockdown situation, and you know what I mean, just not being able to just get on with normal life and just do your stuff. Like a bit of golf, bit of football, going out for meals, and that. It's just been pretty crap. And I understand why people go off their nut a little bit.
Yeah, no,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because we spoke to Stuart a couple of weeks ago, and he said that sadly you got COVID positive, or he was saying.
Yeah, just before I think it was a week before like the German one.
Yeah.
I'd basically, my wife weren't feeling too clever and she had like a sinus infection, so I had a bit of a cold as well. So I thought, I've just got what she's got.
Yeah.
Thought towards the end of the week, I lost my taste and my smell.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I was like, shit, I think I've got it. So obviously I went and had the test that morning, and then in the evening, it came back positive. So obviously I had to isolate for, I think it was 10 days from when the symptoms started, and then I couldn't play in the comp until 10 days after I tested positive.
Yeah.
So I scraped in the Northern Ireland one, but played shit anyway. So might as well have just stayed in my room and got a box set out. You know what I mean?
So obviously it's been difficult with that, and obviously tournaments haven't been the same this year. No fans. How have you found it? Playing in that sort of environment.
Well, to be fair, a lot of the time, when we go to China, sometimes there's not really that many people watching anyway on the outside tables, unless obviously Judd's playing Ronnie or Ding. So it's not really that much difference in the sense of watching. It's just the general atmosphere. The general atmosphere is just dead.
Yeah.
They do that. The pretend clapping on table one and table two that are streaming tables, and it's just like, in all fairness, it's pointless because all it does is put us off.
Yeah.
Because we're playing in silence, and all of a sudden you hear a big roar and a cheer.
Yeah.
And it's like, hang on a minute, but it's just really frustrating, because at least when you sort of had the comps before, you would just hear the other tables clapping and people moving around, and just a general atmosphere of like comps on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it. And we spoke to Phil Seymour, obviously who does the emceeing towards the end of the competitions.
Yeah,
And he said, he's trying to, boost up the atmosphere in there for you guys, but obviously it's, it just doesn't work. Stuart said obviously the atmosphere and the buzz when it comes to like a shot, like a difficult shot. He said that it's the adrenaline's not there for you guys. Is that the same for you?
yeah. I mean, it's a bit like like the lads at the Crucible that did really well. And this ain't being out of order to them. I actually think that if there'd have been a proper crowd there, I don't think some people would have won the matches that they won.
Yeah,
And that's not being out of order to them. That's just in general. Listen, I've played there loads and loads and loads of times. And I found it quite a lot easier to play with nobody there
yeah,
than, 1,000 people sitting there. It makes it so much more hot as
mm,
well in there and really sticky sometimes. But when there was no one there, it was quite cold in there.
yeah,
And it's quite actually nice to play in there when there was no one there, as in just in the general of it being not hot, because I'm not very good playing in the heat. I
no,
sweat anyway because I'm ain't overweight. Or was I be in proper trouble? But no, it's one of them things where at the moment you're sort of just pleased to be playing to a
yeah,
certain extent, and then you go there and then you think, oh, like just lock us down for 2 or 3 months. Let's get it over with. Let's get the
yeah.
vaccine out, and let's sort it out because the tournaments are all right, but it's just nothing like what we're used to, like with China and that sort of stuff.
And with Matchroom, obviously they've managed to get a setup that's obviously proved to be working. Obviously the bubble and obviously running the how they're doing it financially. Obviously, it appears to us that there hasn't been much change. But from you as a player, has there been a financial implication of obviously not having the fans there?
Uh, yeah, I don't think the implications of the fans is a big thing due to the revenue. I just think like the China events, 4 or 5. We'd have gone to China at least 4 times already this up to now. Say from
Yeah,
March would have been the China Open, and then obviously you'd have had Guangzhou and you'd have had Dashing, and a couple of others. And the prize money's really good in the China events.
yeah,
So to miss them events out, it's a massive, massive, knock-on effect for our financial revenue.
yeah,
And listen, the World Snooker have helped us out. They gave us £1,000 at the beginning,
mm,
and then obviously you get your little bit of money off the government, which is pretty crap really for a
yeah,
limited company, just to sort of get you by. But when you got 3 kids and a mortgage, them bits of scratch that they give you
yeah,
ain't nowhere near scratching the surface. And then you got to go and try and play. When you're under a bit of pressure and not probably playing very well, and then you've got to win to pay some bills, all
yeah,
of a sudden it's like snowball effect of, pressure and playing crap, basically, you know?
yeah. Obviously, you touched on the China, tournaments that were out there. Obviously, this year, I think it was in October. Correct me if I'm wrong. That they were meant to have an event over in Saudi, in Riyadh,
Yeah.
and I believe that was in October, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But would that have been a tournament that you would have been going to? Because I think it was a £500,000 prize fund. I think they had put up, which was just
Um,
ridiculous.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like 99% of the players would have gone.
Yeah,
Ronnie probably wouldn't have gone because Ronnie's Ronnie. And and we was all on money for going.
yeah,
So every player would have gone. Every player would have got a bit of cake, and excuse me, everyone would have been pretty, sweet. But obviously now that's sort of out of the water. Um, you know, is it just been postponed till next year? Are we going to play it as soon as we can go over there?
yeah,
Or I don't know. It's just
yeah,
another by the looks of things at the moment, the only 2 decent events are going to be the UK and the world
yeah.
at the minute. 2020, 2021 season just literally throw it out the window. See ya.
No,
You
that's
know, and
awful.
it's frustrating for some players that maybe who did well 2 years ago, and the events that they won or got to the final stages and earned a lot of money, now can't defend that money. Now all of a sudden they're going to drop like a stone without any chance of getting that money back on their prize money list by doing well, because that tournament ain't there anymore.
Yeah.
I don't really know how they're going to do it with the China events. The 4 or 5 tournaments that we've missed, what are they going to just not take the money off and just give them, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I ain't really looked at it. I hate looking at the rankings and all that crap. I'd rather just sort of get on with my own game and try and get a few quid.
Yeah, no, definitely. So, how was it that you actually ended up getting into snooker? Because obviously you're a well-established pro. You've been in the game for many years now. So how you actually got into snooker?
My brother was always at the snooker club. My brother's 6 years older than me, and obviously I was only a young lad. My dad has always been around snooker. My dad was the manager of a snooker club called the Regal in the 60s.
Okay.
I think it was in Romford or one of them areas, Dagenham or somewhere like that. And he always liked snooker. So my dad's always been involved in snooker. And then I got a 6x3 table when I was really young. Might have been 5 or 6. And I just really liked it, and just carried on playing it. Didn't really think anything of a big table. And as I said, my big brother was always at the snooker club. And I was like, where are you going? Oh, I'm going up the snooker club. And basically, he took me up there one day, and that was it. I played a few frames with my brother. Obviously, I'd played snooker before, liked playing pool and that as a young kid. And then once I sort of got to the snooker club in Romford, the Luciana, where Davis started out, just loved it, and literally up there every day of the week. Bunked off school a few times to go up there. And just spent 99% of my years from maybe 10 to 16, 17 up there every day of the week.
Wow.
Yeah, and I used to scrounge games off people where I was only a young boy. You'd always get the same sort of people come on the certain same days and play on their own.
Yeah.
So, do you want a game? Because I didn't really have a lot of money. My mum and dad just give me money, but like in them days, I can't even remember how much it was an hour. Might have been £2 an hour or something, or whatever. And like I'd scrounge games off people, and then they'd come up the next week, and then as they're walking on, do you want to come and have a game? And that's how I sort of got into it properly, just scrounging games and that sort of thing. And then I was like the tea boy, if you like, going to McDonald's and KFC, because in Romford they had a KFC round the corner and a McDonald's, and I don't think Burger King was there yet. And like a few of the lads that used to go up there all the time, like I did, but obviously they was a lot older, would say, "I'll go down McDonald's for us and get us some burgers," and I'd go round to these 8 or 9 different people, and they'd say, "Oh, yeah, cut the cheeseburgers, a bit of chicken, this and this. Give me the money, I'll keep the change." And I'd end up with about a tenner. And all I did was sort of just walk round the corner.
Yeah.
And that's how I used to sort of like get by, and scrounge games and all that. It was brilliant. It was the best times of my life growing up playing snooker and in that old hellhole, because it was just full of idiots, gangsters, thieves, troublemakers. People used to play the fruit machines and like it'd be £100 jackpot. They'd stick 800 quid in it.
Yeah.
Things like that, like 10p a go and things like that. It was quite, but it's the best club I've ever played in for atmosphere and just the people there. It was just fantastic, and I'd love to go back to them days again. Really would, because snooker was booming then, and it was just a great place to go up the certain club. There was smoke everywhere, and doggins on the floor because it weren't like carpet in them days, and it was good, real fun place to be.
Yeah. So obviously you've won the Northern Ireland Open previously. That like for you, because obviously it was your first major trophy that you've won in your career. So what was that like going into the final? Was it very nervous? Because obviously you on the tour we know you as very outgoing, funny,
Yeah.
always have a laugh on the tour. But obviously, when it comes down to a final, how did you react to that?
Well, it was different that time. The first time I got to a final in '97 with Hendry in the Regal Welsh,
Mm.
I was just like happy to be there. Never expected to win because obviously Hendry was at his peak then. I remember breaking off and he potted a long red, made 140 first shot. Then in the second frame, I think I broke off. He played the safety. I played the safety. He potted a long red 104 or something. I sat in my seat. And you could smoke at the time. And I was sitting in my seat thinking, how many fags have I got here? Because I'll tell you what, I'll probably sit here and do about 60 fags.
Yeah,
When I smoked. But yeah, and then I played Ebden in the final of Ireland in, I think it was 2004, 2005, I think. And he beat me 9 or 10-7. And yeah, I was proper up for it that time. I was like,
yeah,
I can win this, and I was proper on it. Um, yeah, just I can say I had some really bad news the night before. I was sort of playing in the final, and I spoke to one of my pals, and my niece had died, and he sort of told me, and he weren't supposed to tell me, and it sort of put a little bit of obviously,
yeah,
a proper dampener on it. And yeah, I went out there and did my best, but it just weren't the same. I know that I think she was 15 because there was twins that had cystic fibrosis.
okay,
But anyway, so yeah, that was that one. And then obviously when I played Barry, I was just zoned in. I was proper zoned in all week. And
yeah,
then my family came over, and I just made sure they didn't get in my way, if you know what I mean, in a
yeah,
nice enough way. They flew over in the afternoon, so they didn't really see the first session of the final. And then I just basically see them, had a bite to eat with them, had a rest, and said to them, look, I'll see you later. And I was on it, you know what I
yeah,
mean? And amazing night. And just one of them moments where, everything was great and 5-1 down. And obviously played some of the best snooker I played.
yeah,
Barry's always, a great loser. He was really positive after and said nice things, even to my wife and my kids after that no one
yeah,
saw. Said some really nice things. And yeah, Barry's a great bloke. And just I think, I was ready. I was ready to win, but I'd had so many disappointments, and obviously with my gambling and all that sort of crap. Just it was nice just for once that I was going home and not thinking about a ball I'd missed or anything like that.
yeah,
The trophy, and it didn't matter. I was the winner, number one.
yeah.
On that day.
Yeah, no, fantastic. It was a great final, and obviously great for you. What was the days after like? Did it take a while to sink in for you?
Well, yeah, because I won on the Sunday, and on the Wednesday I was playing Sam Craig in the UK.
Yeah,
I think I went to bed about 5 in the morning that night, early hours of Monday. But I weren't drinking or anything because I don't drink. I was just literally sitting up and just buzzing,
yeah,
just answering. I had thousands of emails, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all that. And I sat there and just answered every one of them.
yeah,
And it was just one of them things. And then I sort of paid the price the next day because I had the next day off. And then, you couldn't really enjoy it that much because I was straight, as I said, to the UK.
yeah,
So it would have been nice to have had like the next week off and then played the following Monday in the UK
yeah,
in that sort of respect. So I could have taken it in a bit more and enjoyed it a bit more. But yeah, it was, as I said, great night, great achievement, and hopefully there's more to come.
yeah. Fingers crossed. So I just wanted to touch on two things here. Now, I wanted to know who your favourite player you've ever watched, and I wanted
Right.
to know also a couple of names of players that are up and coming that are on the tour at the moment, and just get your opinion on them if we can.
The first, the player, it's got to be Alex.
Yeah,
Alex Alex was my favourite. I remember sitting on my dad's lap when I was little, because as I said, he was into snooker before I was even born.
Yeah.
And we used to sit and watch Alex and Steve. And I always wanted Alex to win because Steve was the best.
Yeah.
And it's always the same, wasn't it? You know, he did win, you know, a few times, Alex, but, you know, the nugget was brilliant.
Yeah.
He was just so good, and, you know, no one could really get near him until like Hendry came along, till the game changed,
Yeah.
really. But yeah, Alex Higgins was, great. And I met him a few times and obviously got to know him pretty well. And I played him a couple. We played a few money matches in Belgium. Not a lot of money, like £10-20 a frame.
Yeah.
And I was sort of up and coming then, and he was sort of in his sort of decline. So, you know, I was probably favourite to beat him more times than not. But we had a few good money matches and that, a few quid going like to him, to me, sort of thing. But yeah, great player. And obviously to win that tournament the first time, being the Alex Higgins Trophy, was, you know, quite a fitting touch, really.
Yeah, definitely. But
Who was the players? You didn't tell me the players.
So just to give us a couple of names of who you personally like on the tour that are up and coming and think that they can really make a dent on the tour.
What, people that have been around a while, or
people that have been around a while, or people that have literally just come on the tour? I know there's quite a few, you know, Chinese coming through that are really fantastic, but just on your opinion, obviously there's a lot of British players that are coming on the scene as well. So
yeah, I mean, you can't look past the Chinese players, really. You know, I think, you know, I don't really know about their dedication, but from when I was younger to now, the youngsters don't seem to practice like we did.
Yeah.
Like we would go to the club and play like a best of 21 for the lunch, and then play another best of 21 after lunch.
Yeah.
Easy, you know, like be there from 10 till 8 at night. And I don't see that in the players these days. You know, every time I hear people playing like games and that, they have a couple of best of nines and they're off. Do you know what I mean? And they're going home. When I was that age, I was, you know, I was out and about and sort of just practicing all the time. But one player who I do like, that I don't think has done himself justice, is Liam Highfield.
Yeah.
Liam Highfield's a really, really, really like the way he plays. He's really, I like the way he plays. And I know Harry would be a much better player, but I would never tell him because I'm still playing.
Yeah.
You know, I would, you know, that would be one of my things when I give up, which probably ain't gonna be too distant future. Yeah, when I pack up, I would really like to go and help a few players.
Yeah.
There's a few players out there that just need, you know, a little bit of guidance, a little bit of maybe, you know, a shoulder to cry on, or, you know, after they get beat, feeling sorry for themselves. Bit like me at the moment, really, you know. But yeah, two or three players, I think I could really help and guide them in the right direction, because there's lots of players out there that need a little bit of help to get to that next stage. And there's two or three players that I know could do it, but they, as I said, they just need a little bit of guidance.
Yeah. And with that in mind, obviously it's not something that we want to talk about or hear, you know, the dreaded retirement coming. But when that does happen, is that the kind of coaching and helping people, you know, up and coming, is that the side, or would you look at like the punditry kind of side as well of things? Because obviously
I would like to do the punditry. I'd like to do the commentating and that sort of stuff. But in all fairness, I've never really been asked. You know, once I won Ireland, I really thought that I'd have a little sneak at the odd bit of commentary here or that sort of stuff. And then I think, well, the punditry things, because I've got tattoos, maybe they're still like, you know, with the clothing, we're still way behind everyone else. You know, everyone's moved on. You look at like the shorts and tops that the footballers wear nowadays.
Yeah.
You know, they're like when like the 70s, they was like pants then.
Yeah.
And they've, you know, they've come on, and we're still in, you know, waistcoat and trousers and shoes. Like we tried to jazz it up a bit with the polo tops, which I thought was better for the younger generation. But because a few of us had tattoos, they pied it off.
Mm.
And I'm like, well, go with the times. 99% of youngsters have got tattoos anyway.
Yeah, no,
You know,
don't get it.
we're just not moving forward with the times. I don't think. And no matter what they say, oh, you know, it's the way it should be and all that, and you know, the long ties in the afternoon. I mean, let's jog it on. Let's just play nice, smart shirts and no ties.
Yeah,
You know, one button undone, like, and wear a smart shirt. It's not hard. Like, a lot of players look more scruffy with their ties on because they don't like wearing them than just having a nice, smart shirt on.
And obviously the snooker shootout, which you've been involved in, you know, several times. Obviously, that they still wear the polo shirts, don't they? It's a bit more of a laid back kind of format.
Yeah, yeah. I just don't see why they don't. You know, for one event, they can say, right, wear whatever you like.
Yeah.
You know, not a pair of shorts or something like that. You know, if you want to wear a pair of tracksuit bottoms, a pair of trainers, and a t-shirt, let's see what you wear every day.
Yeah.
Let's just have a look. You know, we're not talking about major money, and you could just be streamed. It ain't got to be televised, but let's just do something different. Just something a little bit more down to earth and low key. Like the shootout. Wear what you like.
Yeah.
You know, but you know they're just not. Sorry.
There's certain events, I think, that obviously, you know, being kind of to some extent suited and booted, I think it works. You know, world championships, those sort of things, you know, it's such a prestigious event, it works.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, the smaller kind of tournaments, I don't see why they couldn't do like a, you know, a world top that, you know, is standard for every single person on the tour, apart from, you know, sponsors that you can have put on to the individual player. But yeah, I think that is one of the things that is lacking, because obviously, you know, footballers, rugby players, cricketers, you know, that they all have tattoos nowadays.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of, I think, waiting.
Just even like to do with logo advertising, you know, if like, not saying they would, but if someone like Hugo Boss come in and said, look, we'll give everyone a Hugo Boss top, all they got to do is wear it, give us your size.
Yeah.
Like Halls and Curtis did. We wore their shirts last season with the Halls and Curtis on our sleeves.
Yeah.
Like, why not Hugo Boss or someone, like, just to give us a little nudge forward? But it's just so frustrating, because all the youngsters nowadays, like, the designer stuff is really smart.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The nice shoes, and you know, and some of the trainers are smarter than some of the shoes that some of the players wear.
Yeah.
Some of the shoes that some of the players wear look like Cornish pasties. Honestly, it's just like how they get away with wearing them is just absolutely beyond me. I'd rather see someone with a pair of nice Prada trainers on.
Yeah.
Than these hush puppy flipping Cornish pasties they got on. It's just absolutely dreadful.
Yeah, it's I think, you know, and they're missing a trick there, because I think, you know, I think it would entice a lot more young followers to start watching snooker, because I think to some people it can be a bit of a put off, because you see these two blokes walking around the table all smartly dressed, and you don't kind of understand from a young perspective. But I think it needs to be more modernised than it is currently, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. As I said to you, with the tattoos now, and obviously, as long as you're quite trimming yourself, if you know what I mean, you're not a big fat, you know, if you know what I mean. I don't want to be rude to fat people, but ones that, you know, really big guys with tattoos look a bit silly. But you know, a lot of the young guys nowadays, you know, they got tattoos and they look really smart. Short sleeve t-shirts, nice pair of jeans, nice pair of Prada trainers, and that they look really smart. And as I said, a lot of the players on tour look so scruffy anyway, but they are never ever going to do that. They're never ever going to lapse it and, you know, lax it down so it's sort of a bit less than your normal formal wear and shirts and waistcoats. It's just frustrating for me. As I said, we're still 1970s dressing like the 70s, and every other sport has come on. Every other sport you can think of. You know, Tiddlywinks has come on even more than we have, you know, and it's just frustrating, because, like, there's a lot more younger viewers these days in snooker.
Yeah.
And as I said, if Judd was wearing this certain Hugo Boss top and playing in it, I'm sure some of the kids would go out and buy it. A bit like, all these stupid Towie programs where none of them have got any talent whatsoever and literally Botoxed up to the eyeballs, and they're all getting millions of pounds by what? Just being a no one, doing nothing. And like, we're snooker players, like doing something that is hard to do, and we're scraping the barrel.
Yeah.
It's
Things
crap.
need to
Honestly, it's crap.
But I think it's been going on for years, hasn't it? And players complaining. Someone has complained quite a lot. I think we know who we're talking about there, but it's just so difficult, and it's difficult for these up and coming players to obviously get sponsors and get onto these kind of tournaments. It's so difficult to get on, and hopefully things will change, but we'll just have to wait and see there.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the dart players. The dart players play in their tops, and they've got about 85 logos on there.
Yeah.
And we're allowed, I think, 3 maximum. And they're always saying, when Barry Earn came in and changed the game for us, he turned around and said to us, look, we want all the youngsters being on the telly all the time. All the youngsters being on the telly. We want new faces, new this. Ain't happened.
Yeah.
Has not happened. The same players are on the TV table all the time. Exactly the same players. Ronnie O'Sullivan, Neil's on there most time. Selby not as much, and he was been absolutely amazing. Ronnie picks his times. Ronnie has never ever gone a roll on roll off. Probably once in the zillion years we've had roll on roll off, and that's just the way it is. I know he's number one, but it's not really a level playing field. He plays on that one table all the time. It's always the match table every single time. And he's probably deserved that through his 6 world championships and all the great stuff he's done. But don't talk a load of crap to us like they want other players on the telly, like all the new youngsters, and it's a load of old toilet. Just say what you're going to do. Ronnie's always going to be on there. He's going to be on at a allotted time, 1 o'clock or 7 o'clock or 2 o'clock, 7 o'clock. He's never going to play at 10 in the morning unless it's at the World Championships and he has to play at 10 in the morning. But any other time, it's just, the new generation ain't getting the looking that they need to get on. Do you know what I mean? And the experience. And it's a shame.
Yeah. But just before we wrap things up, I just wanted to see what your ambitions and goals are before that time comes. What is it that you're really wanting to get your teeth into and try and win?
Oh, I want to headbutt a couple of refs before I go. I want to chin a couple of players before I go. I mean, listen, I would really like to get into the punditry or the commentating and that sort of stuff, and still have my toe in the water of snooker. And I ain't being funny, I don't want to play forever. I've been playing for 30 years.
Yeah.
And I've been a pro 29, 30 years. And I ain't had enough, but I've had my fair share, do you know what I mean? And the practicing ain't the same. Go to comps now ain't the same. And I don't enjoy it as much. It's like a chore now, where before, couldn't wait to get to the club and that sort of stuff. But, until the time comes where you ain't got to pay bills anymore, I've got to play. I've got to play. I've got to play. And, it's just one of them things where sometimes it's a little bit disheartening. You go in and practicing all the hours under the sun, then you go and get beat and play pretty crap like I did yesterday. And there's no disrespect to Zach. Zach sure is a good player.
Yeah.
And he didn't play well either. So, in all fairness, for him to win normally, he'd have to play well because I'd be battling and playing really, play half decent. But I just weren't there. Just not at the moment. I'm just practicing hard and getting into games. And I've just not got any confidence at the minute. And that's just one of them things that comes with winning. And when you're winning, the game's easy. When you're struggling, everything seems to go wrong, and they fluke balls and get away with murder. And But that's just the game. That's the nature of the
Yeah.
beast. It can be the best game on the planet, or it can be the most frustrating, horrible. Oh, they should have like a punch bag there just beside the table. So when your head's gone, like mine does sometimes, you just want to smash that punch bag, get that little bit of adrenaline out and that. Because sometimes I want to sit there and I'm bursting inside, and I just want to go bleep. I just want to swear and like get up and scream and throw my toys out and oh my god. And then sometimes I sit there and I go, don't worry, that's the game. It's just, I think as well lately, the reason why I've been getting a little bit more upset is because of this lockdown crap.
Yeah.
Doing my nutting, just sitting in all the time, and everyone's getting under each other's feet. The missus wants to punch my face in most of the time. Kids are doing my head in. It's just annoying, and it's just one of them things where we've just got to sit back and try and do the best we can.
Yeah.
Things like golf, like I love a game of golf, and that 4 hours every day of just going out and chilling out after snooker is such a de-stressor for me.
Yeah.
And because I can't even go to the range.
No,
I can't even go to the range. I mean, how stupid. You could have one bay open, the next one shut, one bay open, and that's more than 2 meters. You know what I mean? I mean, how pathetic. And then you got people sitting on the train together.
Yeah.
Going to work.
Don't.
Have a day off, Boris. You're just talking absolute doggy plop. You know what I mean? Absolute crap. And it's so frustrating because there's lots of people out there like me that are in, not like struggling mentally that want to just get out and hit a few golf balls.
Yeah, no.
And that's something that they should put into consideration. And they're talking about having some people going to watch the Premiership matches.
Yeah,
putting people in there.
Yeah,
well, they don't need people in their games. They're getting zillions of pounds for kicking a ball about.
Yeah,
we're playing snooker and getting tiddlywink money.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I saw that there's a concert that's going to be on. I can't remember who it was, but there's going to be a concert on at the SSE, so the Wembley Arena, and that's in like the middle of December, and they've got 3,000 people that they're going in there, and you just think that why is that allowed, and you can't have like a socially distanced crowd like they did in the Crucible final? And I just don't get it.
I don't get it. My son plays football for AFC Sudbury. They're in the non-league, I think it's Isthman League. And they was doing the social distancing. You'd have like a seat, and then you'd have like stripe so you can't sit in it, and then you'd have another seat. So you can do social distancing easy. You need just a few security people there just to advise everyone, it's a one-way system. You got to do this, you got to do that. Yet you can't have like, a couple of hundred people going to watch a snooker match.
Yeah, it's just madness. Hopefully it changes next year, and we can get back in the arenas, and hopefully.
Yeah. The thing is, lots of snooker clubs are going to be struggling at the minute. You know what I mean? And I don't know what it is, but like the club that I'm at, Stepfields in Whittam, it's a great club. And when they opened again, they was busy.
Yeah.
And my pal Alex Davis at AD Snooker Club in Clacton, his club was doing really well and all. Now he's he's got to sit and wait and hopefully get up and running again, because he sort of just started over there. It's tough.
It is. We've got a local club. We're based in Tunbridge Wells, and we've got a club called the Victoria Snooker Club, run by father and son, Graham Martin and Liam Martin, and they got up and running, put everything in place so that it was like as COVID secure as it could be, and then obviously then to be in lockdown again, it's just but we really need to come together as like a snooker family and support these clubs, because otherwise they're going to be even less than what they are now.
Like they need them like little pro-ams of 32 amateurs, or a pro-am with amateurs and pros in there, where they're going up there for a day and all playing and then more people come in and watch, and they get the revenue of people eating and drinking and nick a few quid. You know what I mean? Because that's what it's all about, just trying to nick a few quid and getting by, because the summer months in snooker clubs is quite poor.
Yeah.
So these winter months now is when they get their big their more money, so then they can carry on through the summer.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Because as I said, the government ain't going to give them the money that they need to get by. They're just going to scrimp and scrape them. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Well, fingers crossed we can obviously get the clubs running and get fans back in the arenas. And hopefully we can sort something out and get you down the Victoria Snooker Club for an event down there. It'd be
Yeah,
good.
mate, I could do with a few quid.
Yeah.
All right, mate.
We'll speak to them and see what we can do. But
yeah, all right, no worries.
as I said, I really appreciate you coming on today.
Oh, that's all right, mate. Listen, anything I can do to help you, not a problem.
Yeah.
I've just looking at the profile and that, and all the other people you're trying to get on there and raise awareness for other players and other sports. It's really good. It's really good what you're doing. Yeah. And
literally, we're here not to make profit. We're here to literally support up and coming amateurs, get people like yourself on, and give that little bit of advice and just hear about how you got into the sport. And just alongside that, something I'm very passionate about is supporting with mental health. And I think, sport is a fantastic platform to really get people to open up and get the support that they need.
Yeah.
So
I think I'm quite fortunate because with like my GA room, at the moment we're allowed 15 people in there. So if I've got any problems, I can just sit in there and blurt out, cry my eyes out, do whatever I need to do to get the crap off my chest and let them know how I'm feeling, and I can say what I like.
Yeah.
And there's lots of people out there that haven't got anyone to talk to.
Yeah, and that's it. And as I said, I put a post up yesterday and I said, if anyone wants to talk, we're here. And and we're running a raffle in mid-December, hopefully, and that money's going to the Frank Bruno Foundation. So just to help out. But yeah, we're here. We're not here to profit. We love sport, so that's why we're here. But again, really appreciate your time.
All right, anytime, mate. Anytime. Anyone message you if they need any help, mental-wise, or just want to have a chat, just let me know, and I'll have a chat with them. Not a problem.
Perfect. Really appreciate it. Enjoy
All right, mate. Yeah, I will. Take care.
All right, cheers.
Sweet.
Thank you.
Laters. Bye.